It's 1996. The internet is young, dial-up tones fill the air, and video games are still mostly plastic boxes on store shelves. In a small rented office in Kirkland, Washington, two former Microsoft employees sit surrounded by computers, pizza boxes, and a dream so bold it borders on madness: to make games the way they wanted them to be made, without corporate limits, without marketing departments telling them what players want. One of those men was Gabe Newell, and his quiet revolution would reshape not just gaming, but digital entertainment itself. Gabe Logan Newell was born on November 3, 1962, in Seattle, Washington. His early life didn't hint at the cultural giant he would become. He was a curious kid, obsessed with technology and computers long before they were mainstream. At Harvard University, Newell majored in computer science, but like many tech visionaries of his generation, he never finished his degree. In 1983, he dropped out to join a rapidly growing company that promised to change the world: Microsoft. There, Newell worked on early versions of Windows, helping shape the operating system that would soon dominate personal computing. He spent 13 years at Microsoft, where he became financially secure, thanks largely to the company's stock options, and learned the business of software inside and out. But somewhere along the way, Newell fell in love with games. He often spoke about how Doom and Quake, the groundbreaking first-person shooters from ID Software, fascinated him, not just as entertainment, but as technology. These games, built on complex engines and modifiable by players, revealed to him a new frontier for software. Around 1996, he and fellow Microsoft employee Mike Harrington decided to leave the corporate comfort zone. They pooled their resources and founded a small company named Valve. Their mission was simple: to make games that combined cutting-edge technology with deep, immersive storytelling. Their first project, Half-Life, would become a legend. When it was released in 1998, critics and players were stunned. Unlike most shooters of their era, Half-Life told a story not through cutscenes, but through the player's own experience. It was cinematic without being a movie, intense without being mindless. Players stepped into the shoes of Gordon Freeman, a silent physicist caught in a disaster at the Black Mesa Research Facility. It was intelligent, atmospheric, and revolutionary. Half-Life didn't just sell millions of copies, it changed expectations for what video games could be. For most, that would have been enough, but Newell wasn't satisfied with just making great games. He saw another problem: how games were sold. The traditional model, shipping CDs to stores, was slow, expensive, and vulnerable to piracy. The internet, though still primitive, offered an alternative. Newell's next idea would face ridicule and resistance before becoming one of the most powerful platforms in entertainment history. In 2003, Valve launched Steam, a digital distribution platform that allowed players to buy, download, and update games online. At first, gamers hated it. Steam was clunky, slow, and mandatory for Valve's next game, Half-Life 2. Critics called it intrusive. Forums were full of outrage. Yet Newell, famously patient and methodical, stayed the course. He believed that digital delivery was the future, and that giving developers and players a direct connection would eventually win them over. He was right. Within a few years, Steam became the central hub for PC gaming. It wasn't just a store. It was a community, a library, a marketplace. Independent developers suddenly had a way to reach millions without a publisher. Steam democratized game distribution the same way YouTube democratized video and Spotify did for music. By the late 2008s, Gabe Newell was being hailed as a pioneer, though he never behaved like one. He remained reclusive and self-deprecating, often appearing in public with his characteristic beard and t-shirts, more like a friendly tech uncle than a corporate executive. Under his leadership, Valve became an anomaly in the business world: flat, decentralized, and experimental. The company famously had no traditional management structure. Employees could choose what projects to work on, guided by their passions rather than directives from above. In Valve's internal handbook, Newell described the company as a place where everyone is responsible for everything, a living experiment in creative freedom. This culture gave birth to innovations like Portal, Team Fortress 2, and Left 4 Dead, each redefining its genre in playful, unexpected ways. Valve didn't just make games, it nurtured worlds and communities.
One of its greatest achievements, Dota 2, grew from a fan-made mod into a global esport with million-dollar tournaments. Steam Workshop allowed players to create and sell their own content, blurring the line between developer and gamer. Under Newell's watch, the gaming ecosystem evolved from a consumer model to a participatory one. Yet Newell's path wasn't without criticism. Fans still joke, half lovingly, half bitterly, about Valve's inability to count to 3. Half-Life 3 became a meme, a symbol of eternal anticipation. But perhaps this too reveals something about Newell's philosophy. He never rushed creation. Valve only released products when they were ready, or in some cases when they felt the idea was truly worth pursuing. We try to make things that are worth people's time, and if we can't, we wait, he once said. Beyond gaming, Gabe Newell became an advocate for openness and technology's social potential. He supported virtual reality early on, partnering with HTC to create the Vive headset and advancing the concept of immersive interactive experiences. He's also known for his humility. Employees often recall that he answers emails personally, talks directly with fans, and encourages curiosity above profit. In 2013, he was inducted into the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame for his contributions to the industry. In a world dominated by billion-dollar studios and marketing machines, Newell remains a symbol of what happens when passion and patience meet vision. He built an empire not by shouting the loudest, but by listening to players, to developers, to the changing rhythm of technology. His success wasn't just in making games, but in building an ecosystem that empowered creativity and independence. Today, Gabe Newell is one of the wealthiest figures in gaming, yet he continues to approach his work with the same understated curiosity that led him to drop out of Harvard decades ago. When asked about success, he often deflects, crediting his team and the community. His story reminds us that innovation isn't always loud or glamorous. It's often the result of stubborn belief, quiet experimentation, and a willingness to rethink everything from the ground up. So the next time you open Steam, browse a digital library that fits in your pocket, or play a mod that turned into a masterpiece, remember the man who made it possible, the programmer who left Microsoft to chase an idea, the gamer who turned frustration into opportunity, the visionary who quietly built the future of interactive entertainment. Gabe Newell didn't just change how we play, he changed how we think about play. And in doing so, he proved that sometimes the most powerful revolutions start not with noise, but with imagination.